Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is Rubidium. Today we are talking filmmaking technology and CES 2020. I was there yesterday, which was actually very insane. I had a shoot yesterday morning. I had a shoot this morning. So I flew to Vegas for the afternoon and flew back that night. I don't recommend it. It is very frantic. There is a lot of square footage to cover in about 6 hours. But I got to see some amazing stuff, and I want to break down how I think emerging technology is going to change filmmaking in the years ahead. Thank you to B&H for making the trip possible. They are the sponsors of this video, and you'll find links in the description to most of the stuff I talk about. First thing I saw was a huge range and variety of drones. Giant drones, tiny drones, underwater drones. It was a pretty cool two-rotor drone. It's like a bicopter instead of a quadcopter from a Chinese company called 00. It's the C-Copter Falcon. Because it has two rotors rather than four, it can fly faster and fall longer than a conventional four-rotor drone. The footage they were getting looked really good, so I'd like to check this out. Autel, one of the big names in drones, launched their Evo 2, and there was a bunch of demonstrations of it there. This thing has a 8K capable camera. It has a 9-kilometer range. What I thought was really impressive was the optional thermal camera that you can use this with. This is going to be a total game changer for search and rescue. It has almost an hour of flight time, and with a 9K range, you can cover 250 square kilometers of area. It's going to make finding people who are lost a lot easier and a lot more affordable. This thing is going to go, the Evo 2 is going to be around $2,000 as the base version, with more for the thermal camera option. Probably the biggest and most impressive thing I saw at CES was the 8K displays. Now these were $40,000 and $50,000 and $60,000. They start at 65 inches and go all the way to like 130 inches. Sony had a gigantic cinema-sized one, which was so bright and at 8K so detailed. It was more real than real. It was like cutting a hole in your wall and looking out into reality. I haven't really been a huge proponent of 4K because I don't believe on most screens at most distances it's significantly better than 2K, and it's 4 times the work and 4 times the processing. But with these giant screens, 4K, 6K, 8K look like they do make a difference. Not that we're going to be producing that kind of content now, but it does make sense to keep that in mind if you're going to produce something that is going to have a long life, that you're going to want people to watch in 5-10 years or longer. Because most films were made on film, and film can be scanned up to 12K, we've been able to, successfully remaster old films for each new generation of technology and resolution. If you go back and look at the music videos, say from even like 2005, 2006, they're all 720 by 576. They look absolute junk on YouTube these days. I don't want my movies to be watched on a 120-inch screen in 5 years' time and have giant pixels and terrible dynamic range. I want to be shooting in the highest resolution I can and keeping the raw footage so that my films can be remastered if that's possible. That's what I took away from CES. With all these giant screens, the new problem is, where do you put them? Because no one wants a 100-inch screen in their living room taking up an entire wall. A couple of different manufacturers have this technology which allows your TV to turn into a passively lit artwork while you're not using it. Other people are pitching transparent screens that can be a window. LG had a $60,000 folding screen that can go into the floor or into the ceiling when you're not using it, which is really smart. That way you can have your couch set up to look out at your beautiful view, and then when you're ready to watch television, press a button and it will roll down and you can watch TV. Lifestyle was another big trend at CES. A lot of brands like Samsung, LG, TCL, and a lot of others actually didn't just have a couple of products. They had an entire suite of products that were food related, travel related, health related, media related. They want you to stay within their ecosystem that works flawlessly together the entire day. Apple is sort of the innovator with this. People go from their iPhone to their iPad to their computer to their Apple Watch, and everything works seamlessly. The only way you're going to get that to happen is if one manufacturer does it all. Apple wasn't at CES, very interestingly. I guess they feel like they're so far ahead of the competition. They're so dominant in the market that they're not going to show alongside all their competitors. They're going to show out their own exhibition, their developer conference, or whatever it is. The one thing that I actually saw at CES that I wanted to buy straight away was a snowboarding helmet by a company called Level. It has a crash sensor that if you wipe out really badly on the mountain, will send a text message to the emergency services to let them know where you are and that you're hurt. Going off the side of a mountain and breaking my arm and not be able to get to my phone is one of my phobias. The idea that you have a helmet that can sense that you're hurt and let people know where you are, I think it's only $120 something. Is really awesome. I mean, this is really what I wanted from technology, making your life better and safer and cheaper. Thank you again to B&H for sponsoring this video. Check the links in the description, and I will see you next time.